updated.
That was a right good time then.
2021.
I was all right. I wasn't even looking at the updated one. I was simply putting the link into the group chat. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Thanks for listening, watching, whatever it is you're doing. We're back with the second week in a row. We're all here. That's been unusual for us of recent times. But I guess when the weather's minus 400 degrees outside, there isn't really much else to do but watch us three have a little bit of a moan. However, this week is different. All three of us won. So it's almost like a party time. I could even be asked getting one of the shirts out. Where is it? There it is. Not the rest of them. Couldn't be asked. Just Howie Long will do. But yeah, thanks for joining us. Welcome, and we hope you enjoy. And if you are live on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, get in the comments, and we will see them, and we will no doubt respond to them. We already have JP. Oh, hang on. We already have. What are you doing there?
Does it throw out a kilter when you put it?
It does. Live TV. There we go. What are we doing? Yeah, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at Third Short Pod. If you are watching, you can see it across the bottom of the screen. If you're not watching, why not? Listening's for yesteryear. Live on YouTube is the way to go. So first and foremost, I'm gonna put out a little claim for one of the awards this year. I am gonna win. And what are we drinking, boys? What are we drinking? I know, Tom, you've not been so well. So is Robinson's back out?
Robinson's is back out. He even looks stronger than normal.
Yellow, that isn't it?
That's what I am.
That's not a sample, is it, Tom?
Yeah. Fucking hell. Looks like that at the moment.
Jamie, what you on?
Well,
Professor Peppy?
No, I'm on the proper good stuff this time, but I realised before we were about to record I didn't have a drink, so I just ran downstairs to grab the whole bottle, so I've got a proper bottle of Dr. Pepper.
Proper Dr. Pepper, not Professor Peppy.
So I've got the 2 litre bottle because there's only a bit left. I didn't have time to pour it because we were starting. And we were already 2 minutes running behind, so...
It's not like us to be on. Literally. So, okay, this is an early claim for an awards... from whatever. I can't even say words.
Drink of the year.
Yeah, and this is a beer that I'm pretty certain nobody that watches this podcast will have had before. It is called Phoenix. Okay.
Betty Chris White has, just saying.
I bet he hasn't because you can't buy it in the UK. So, this is the local beer of Mauritius, if anyone could see it.
Are you saying that you've illegally smuggled this in somehow?
I haven't.
I cannot confirm or deny.
This, you can buy it in France, I believe, and get it shipped over to the UK. But this has come all the way from Mauritius. It was a gift from my parents who've just come back from there. And I got 2 cans, and I drank one, and it was really nice. I'll save this one just for tonight, because last week I was not in the mood for celebrating. However, things have changed. It's amazing what a week does. Going to win the Super Bowl, aren't we? Yeah, it's a lager. It's really nice. It's 5%. Yeah, so if you're out there, brewers of the famous beer of Mauritius, Phoenix beer, internationally recognised since 1963, get at me because I'm doing wonders for sales over here. Yeah, cheers.
What does it taste like? Anything similar?
What's the UK equivalent?
There isn't really one. It's more. I probably put it along the lines of an Italian one, something like a Moretti or a Peroni. But yeah, it's just
Tom's language.
It's quite nice. But this is the last can I have at the moment, and they are back off to Mauritius, I think next May or April or sometime, and I'm going to ask for a crate. So yeah, it's lovely. Anyway, get them votes in.
We forgot about 100%. Stop me going down as a nominee.
Nothing could be.
Professor Peppy's won it already.
Well, hang on. We can't have beer of the week and it be Professor Peppy.
I said drink of. It's called drink of the week. Do you not read anymore?
Yeah, I did, but you've changed it.
We changed it to drink of the week because no one was drinking alcohol for about 3 weeks running. We were just all on soft drinks and Robinsons.
Tell you what, this is an absolute liability.
Wait until we get Jeff back and the wine can be back up again for 2 years running.
Yeah, massive shout out to Chris. Chris Lyons, fan number 2, not Bones. But yeah, he's given Jeff a little nudge on Twitter, and Jeff is bang up for coming back on the podcast. So hopefully we'll have that on soon, maybe even next week. Can we do 3 weeks in a row? Ooh, not sure.
Miracle.
yeah, we best not book Jeff yet. Yeah. So we'll go on to, obviously it was Thanksgiving last week, so we got the lovely treat of 3 games on Thursday. The first game was a close game, Lions and the Bears. Second game was a close game, the Raiders and the Cowboys. And who cares about the third game? Not me. And then we'll come on to obviously the Raiders in a moment. And then we've had last night's games, some pretty interesting results, I think. Green Bay Rams, it was a pretty good game. The most disappointing result for me was the Giants winning, Tom, because I really, really wanted the Eagles to win.
All hope is not over. We play them again soon. It's divisional. We get 2 chances a season at getting feeling an Eagles suit.
But
fly, Eagles fly on our way to victory.
I don't think this will be what he catches up on.
But yeah, it was a good win. Good win for the Giants. Eagles divisional.
Such a stinky game. Stinkiest game I've ever watched. It was awful.
It was terrible.
Oh my God. We are so bad. But Jalen Hurts is worst. He was just horrendous. I read this morning he had a QBR of 17.5. Yeah, he was ridiculous. Like I had it up before. He was he 15 from 31 or 14 from 30? 14 from 31 for 129 yards, 3 interceptions.
There's only one man worse than that, wasn't there?
That's what I'm just looking at now. I'm back. All right, mate. Good one.
Yeah. Well, having said that, Lamar threw 4 picks as well.
Oh, I watched quite a bit of that game.
But one.
Yeah, I know.
But,
they're now number 1 seed in the.
Yeah, it was. It was a stinky game. It really was. Again, like I don't know many times I've said this out of the 4 wins we've got, but a game that we probably shouldn't have won, and our defense won it for us. Like there were signs that the offense had changed. Obviously, it was a new play caller, Freddie Kitchens. I sounds like probably going to have it till the end of the season. I think the guys were saying, I didn't know this, but you can't hire coaches from other teams during the season. Is that right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, which obviously makes it interesting. So you obviously just promote from within. And Freddie Kitchens did it last season against the Browns when Garrett was off with COVID. He did it again last night. DJ had a play call band on for the first time in his career. So obviously a few new things in there. We tried to use Golladay more. I think he was targeted 7 times, which is the most he's been targeted. Only caught 3, but I think for me, only 1 drop. DJ was off with 2, and then there was a PI on another, but it was 3 for 50 yards, using them as we should be. How's my favourite Matt, the Drunken Theorist? That's a new name we haven't seen. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, we're just a stinky team. Like, I said it last night in the group. Then Barkley had 13 rushes yesterday. 1 went for 32 yards. The other 8 went for a combined of 8 yards. The other 13, went for a combined of 8 yards each. Our O-line is just stinky as. There's just nothing about it. And I was talking to Phil obviously throughout the game yesterday, and like the Eagles O-line done really well, and they absolutely bullied us when they decided to run the ball. And then they just gave Hurts too many opportunities. They were in 2 scoring positions. He threw a pick in each, and then his third pick, which I have no idea what he was doing. He was on his own 1, and he went for a deep ball shot into clear double coverage and only 1 receiver out there. Just an easy pick for McKinney. But they still had an opportunity to win it. They had a chance at a game-winning drive. Well, 2 chances really. They got the ball down 6 with I think 2 and a bit to go, and Boston Scott fumbled it, which is great from a Giants perspective because he seems to turn it on playing us. So it was nice to see him fumble a little shit. That was recovered. But then standard fucking Giants, Mr. Conservative Judge, just tried to rush the ball 3 times, lost yardage, burned 8 seconds of the clock, which was amazing. So gave the Eagles the second chance to drive the ball with over 2 minutes left. And
it's annoying, isn't it, when they don't use up any clock?
Mate,
That was the point.
It's just, mate, we did yesterday. We tried a reverse sweep, right, and we put Darius Slayton, who's our pace merchant, on it, and we got minus 13 yards on first down. It was just blown up completely. Just like, honest, and everything about it. I just sat there yesterday and I was just like, fucking hell, like, how are we winning this game? But thankfully, the defense stood up at the end. You know, Hurts had 4 passes to make it, and Rager dropped 2 absolute stinkers. And the last drop on their 4th down, he was basically on the edge of the end zone, and he just went through his hands, hit his helmet, bounced off. Thankfully, so yeah, thankfully we won. That's all I can say. There was nothing positive about but the defense.
I do know who the drunken theorist is. It's a friend of mine called Aaron. He's just messaged me to say that was him. So good to have you on, Aaron. Good to have the comments as well. There we go. That's a great question, actually, because the favourites change each week. So what Aaron's asked there is not a week in, week out fan, but who's looking at the favourites this season. I'm going to throw it to you, Jamie, first, being that your team is probably considered one of them. Certainly going to be there or thereabouts, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's an awkward because I always, as a Bucs fan for so many years, I don't want to be over optimistic about it's our year in that beautiful Scouse voice. But I mean, looking at the NFC, it's just been a bit crazy.
Tell you what, I'll talk about the NFC if you want. If you two want to talk about the AFC, that takes sort of bias out of it, I guess, doesn't it?
Yeah.
So for me, in the NFC, the Rams are blowing it since they got Von Miller. Stafford has become Goff, essentially. The Bucs are looking good. They came from behind to be what has been a good Colts side this season. And for me, the main threat to the Bucs is Green Bay. They're putting it together well. Rodgers is doing what Rodgers does, but obviously when it comes to playoff time, we know how that's going to go. The other team, I think, is worth. The other team, Stafford to Goff, he might as well be. The other team, I think, is worth noting about is JP's team, the 49ers. You know, they're picking up wins that not that they don't deserve the wins, but wins we probably wouldn't have said a few weeks
grinding them out, aren't they?
Yeah, so
MVP on your side.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's the Bucs are certainly there. I think Green Bay are there. I think the Rams will still be there as well, and I think the 49ers are probably going to sneak into the equation.
I was going to say it's quite interesting because you haven't actually said the number 1 seed in the NFC, who are the Arizona Cardinals.
I think they're going to fall off. That's my opinion. I think, I don't know. Don't trust the 49ers even with the MVP. Is Derek Carr playing for the 49ers now?
I'm glad you took the NFC so you could take away my bias of saying the Giants were going to win it.
I was thinking of a dark horse, and it wasn't the Giants. It's
Cowboys.
Don't be silly. Don't be silly. The Cowboys will get to the playoffs and just do again what Green Bay do. Clink, clink, bottle jobs. See you in a bit.
I'm just going to have a
From the NFC East. Let's be serious now.
It says something when the Raiders had lost 3 games in a row and it still beat Cowboys on Thanksgiving in Dallas.
Yeah. Problem is the Cowboys, like, if they have an injury to a key component, they struggle. It happened last year. They lost Dak, which is obviously probably their biggest, and they went to shit. And Zeke went to shit without Dak. Those two are bum boys, love each other, stupid, ridiculous, can't perform without each other, poor. And then you saw it. They had Amari Cooper and CD Lamb out, and they were woeful. I mean, I know they put up 30 against you, didn't they? I think, But this is the Raiders. You're not exactly the strongest defensively, are you? Even we put over 20 points against you. That's us scoring 13 points against the Eagles. But they're just this is obviously I am biased, but you actually look at results. They aren't a playoff team that everyone makes them out to be, an America's team. They're shy. They'll fail, and they will fail. They will, and I can't wait to watch it as well.
Maybe I'm doing the Cards a disservice. They're 9-2.
Strong games.
You need to. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't see them as.
It hasn't helped with money being out the past couple of weeks. They're not been as exciting, have they? With Super Bowl.
Still won.
I think if you come up against Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers, they'll probably. You might get found out a little bit. That's all I'm thinking. In a game that matters, Brady and Rodgers. Obviously, I know Rodgers bottles it late on in the playoffs, but if it's a wild card round, I dare say Green Bay would win that.
This is what I mean. Like, if Cardinals are the number 1 seed, they're going straight through, aren't they? They're not having that wild card.
I don't look at their division's tough. Rams, 49ers, and Seahawks. That's not 3 easy games. And like JP says, I don't know enough about Kingsbury, but I trust JP's opinion. And it's hard to trust
just quickly looking at the last few games for Cardinals, they've got the Bears,
who win that,
which you think should win. Then they've got the Rams, which would be a very good game. Then they've got the Lions. They're going to win that.
That'll be the Lions' only win, won't
it? Then they've got the Colts, Cowboys, and Seahawks. I mean, you'd say at least
three tough games to finish, though. Colts won't be easy. I still don't think the Cowboys will be easy. I think they'll win it. And who was it? Last Seahawks. Divisional. Divisional. So you can't really count anything in divisional games, can you? Because look at the Broncos beating the Chargers last night. The Broncos are gash.
Yeah.
The Chargers
the thing is, there's a lot of teams like that this year. Like, the Broncos are now 6-5. They were 5-5 yesterday. The Eagles were fucking 5-5. Quick maths. And they're awful. Like, we've somehow got 4 wins, and we are dog turd, absolute, honestly, toilet water. And it's so weird that one of the teams is going to get a wild card, and you just don't know what can happen here in playoff football. You don't. You've got no idea.
There's been so many weird games over the last few weeks. Obviously, we briefly brushed upon it. The Buccaneers lost to Washington, a ridiculous game that they shouldn't have lost. There's been massive games that have just been like, how have this team just won? I mean, they didn't win, but Lions getting a fucking draw against the Steelers.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, it makes it exciting, at least. Like, it really does. Like, it's brilliant, but there's just a load of inconsistency, isn't there? Like you were saying about Chargers losing to the Broncos yesterday. Like, the Chargers are such a weird team. They'll go out and absolutely blow a good team out of the water, and then they'll lose a game like that. And I'm not saying the Broncos are garbage, but they've traded a few pieces away, knowing that this is a sort of building season. Well, maybe not building, but holding, maintaining, and then looking to build.
All they're doing is ruining their chances of getting a decent quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, and you would have expected the Chargers to win yesterday.
I mean, you look at it though. AFC West. I know Matt alluded to it the other week. All of them are winning. They're all put over 5.
Only
7-4, 6-5, 6-5, 6-5.
Yeah.
Only division in the league. 1 game separates all 4 teams, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's weird because all the
Chiefs will be back on top.
Bits this season, haven't they? Where it's like the Raiders were in the dip, Chiefs were in the dip, and then the other 2 teams are.
No one cares about the other 2.
Yeah.
Broncos to win the division. It could happen.
I don't know. I think the Chiefs have turned the corner now, haven't they? They've got through their difficult patch, unfortunately.
Yeah, but again, it can all change. And that's what makes it so exciting with it being so tight.
Since we're talking, I say seems. Oh, go on then. I'll do my.
It's people that the shocks, I suppose, are like your Patriots that have come on leaps and bounds, haven't they? Which is, I think, was it Bones was saying in there, like, looks like Belichick's got what he wanted. He now gets someone that he's trusted. He's got his coaching around him that he's trusted, and it's reaping the rewards. Mac Jones is looking steady in a scheme that obviously clearly fits in. Mark said it, didn't he? Way before the draft, way before he's even touting to being a first rounder. He said that he'd suit, Belichick and the Patriots, and he's doing really well. They're massive underdogs, aren't they? Really yet? Now they're winning the division. Are they really an underdog anymore?
I think so.
Yeah,
The best defense in the league as well, Patriots.
yeah. So that's interesting with what happens between them and the Bills. Who takes that division? Who gets the wild card spot? Because you'd like to think it's got to be two of them out of it now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean, Dolphins aren't that far back, are they? Are they game back?
Dolphins lost to the Jags, though. We went and watched it. It was shit.
I know.
They cannot get...
I know. But this is what I'm saying about the division. The league, sorry, he's just nuts, isn't it?
I wonder if, thinking deep here, but has COVID last year played a part on things this year, where there isn't really teams running away with it as there has been in the past. Kansas City last year and the year before were all over the AFC. Saints last year, obviously they're shit now, but
you could say that with Drew Brees, like Drew Brees is retired, and then again, Saints are still doing well. They're not awful. I mean, they were top of the division at one point a few weeks ago, and then obviously Jameis Winston got injured, and now they've gone even worse.
They're shit.
Hmm.
I mean, I'd happily take it. I mean, I can't remember the last time he actually won the NFC South. So
yeah, I mean, DJ threw 400 yards against them. They're shit.
without even playing
Under Jason Garrett.
I know.
I'm ignoring James's comments here because I can't say anything because it'll just get recorded. And we all know what's happened. I think Jordan has nailed it there. The biggest miss there is Kamara, isn't it? Because even without Winston, when they had Kamara, they I'm sure it's only been one game, but they won.
I think the other Anouk Meng there is from JP. That on the undercard of the Kell Brook and Amir Khan fight will be two heavyweights from the podcast world going. I was going to say toe to toe, but I'm not sure that's the right phrase.
Knee to knee, both sat down.
Yeah. But no, nice little in joke between the podcasts there.
Yeah. I know you spoke about the NFC ones, but Tom, who do you think is going to win the AFC?
I don't know. About 3 or 4 games in, I said that the Ravens are looking strong. And I know they've just taken a top seed, but they also don't look that strong. But when you've got Lamar, who's throwing 4 picks and you're still winning the game, and have you seen that video of Garrett and Clowney? Like there was an attempt where they were rushing him yesterday, and he was just it was a bit like what Mahomes was against the Bucs in the Super Bowl. He was just all over the place, he was being sacked, and all of a sudden he just fucking pulls a pass out of nowhere, and it connects. And like Garrett, goes to Jackson and is in like, how the fuck have you just done that? Clowney gets his helmet, throws it on the floor, pissed off, and like Garrett just walks off to the sideline, looking at the coaches, just laughing, shaking his head as in say like, what are you meant to do? Like you've got two absolute beasts chasing him down, not just one, 2, and he's doing that. He's extending plays, and the thing is with Lamar and the Ravens, they've got a chip on the shoulder and they've got something to prove. Because they're this running joke, aren't they? That Lamar said he's going to bring a Super Bowl to Baltimore. Is he a running back? Is he a QB? Can he do it in the playoffs? They had the duck over the hole. Was it the Titans? And then last year they finally got past that. Now it's where did he go next? I don't know. I don't think they will, but you know me, I don't go with the obvious. So I'll say Ravens. And I do you know what? I want them to at least get to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it'd be nice to, because if it was something like Ravens and the Cards, 2 quite exciting quarterbacks. Could be. I mean, you look at last year, you had Mahomes was scrambling for his life, but Brady doesn't really do that. He's very much more the old school sort of quarterback, sit in the pocket and pass. But quarterbacks have changed. I know Brady's still doing it, still hitting the numbers and stuff. But the new breed is the running quarterback, isn't it? The Kyler Murray, Lamar Jacksons, the Patrick Mahomeses. So it would be an exciting. Well, you'd like to think it would be an exciting quarter. It would be shit, wouldn't it? Get 3-0 or something. But yeah, it'd be nice to see something like that. Jord there saying Pats v Packers. Don't know. We just know when the Packers get
Packers
to
would be an interesting one. Like I'd hate it because it's like the Packers are just tossed as it is. I'd hate Rodgers to have another chance to win another Super Bowl. But like that would be interesting because they're two. I wouldn't say overly exciting teams, like, but they're two well-oiled and teams that deliver.
put the words out of my mouth. Well-oiled is a great way to describe Green Bay. They just go up, they just do the business, don't they?
Yeah, and they make explosive plays. Don't get me wrong, but like I think because it's Rodgers, it's Adams, it isn't explosive. You just sort of it happens, and you're like, oh, again. It's not like someone hitting a 30-yard dime out of somewhere. You're like, oh my god, DJ's just completed a pass. Like that doesn't happen. Like it's so robotic and so you know it's happening. When that ball, like for example, like last night I'm watching Jalen Hurts. When that ball comes out of his hand, I'm ready for a pick or I'm ready for a pass deflection. I'm ready for a ball that's going to be competitive, and I'm like, right, happy days. When I watch Rodgers and that ball comes out of his hand, I'm just waiting for Adams to be on the end of it, or even Lazard, even Tony. I'm expecting that to just drop and a receiver be in a load of space and then to catch it. And I just don't know. Like you say, I'd love like a Ravens or a Cards where you're like, oh, there's a bit of, both teams that are unproven. Like, oh, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Is it going to happen? Not a Pats v Packers. And Pats have got Matt Jones. That'd be phenomenal to see him in it. But Valdez, Scantling, Debo King. But yeah, like I don't know. I don't know who won. Obviously, I don't want the Packers because I hate them, but I'd be interested to watch any.
Oh, yeah. Lucy Fowich in.
My guy.
We've been waiting for you. Yeah, I think you touched on the AFC. We mentioned the AFC West before. Raiders, Cowboys, the most watched regular season game since 1990. 36 million people, was it? Something like that.
It's so crazy, yeah.
Watch the game. And Dak Prescott, Black Prescott, I think he should be called. Raiders in OT, Raiders by 3. Yeah, it was. I think both myself and Mark called it before that we were probably going to get murdered, and we half expected. I think the Cowboys were 7-3, were they? And we were off the back of losing 3 games badly, not so much score-wise, but badly in terms of performance. But give Derek Carr his due. He turned up. He turned up and carried the team a little bit. Deshaun Jackson got a nice 50-odd-yard touchdown early on, which is great. I think it's took him a couple of weeks to perhaps find his rhythm, but I think he's filling that Henry Ruggs role, and by that I don't mean he's going to murder someone. I mean he's hopefully going to be the deep ball threat. There was I woke up randomly this morning, saw a message in the group chat about JP and Debo, and I was like, I'm just going to put Ruggs threat VP. I started to go back to sleep, but then JP texted me, and I was awake for a while. I mean, Raiders won it in overtime, which is a great way to win a game. Obviously, it's a poor way to lose a game, but they played well. It was they went for an extra 2 points, the Cowboys, and Jonathan Abram actually basically decapitated the guy, or took his legs off almost, and the team seemed not to be back to how they were pre-Gruden, Ruggs, Arnett, but they seemed to have a bit of rhythm, a bit of not swagger, but look better than they had been. So obviously, because I'm such a fucking idiot, we're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm back in. They've sucked me back in. Can't wait to get demolished by Washington at the weekend and come on and cry next week. So yeah, but no, it was nice. It was a good win. I think I said in the group chat that I wouldn't have been asked either way. But for a penalty ball, I think it was a 10 or 11 for each team. 10 or 11 flags. Madness. Like the Cowboys have moaned about it, but I'm sure the teams finished on the same amount of penalty flags. I'm sure there was 10 for both.
Cowboys to moan.
And that it's just part of the game, isn't it? They called Brown. He's called Anthony Brown, their player who just kept giving away PI.
They were quarterback.
Thanks very much. There's another one.
Because he's been solid this season as well, to be fair. They were saying like this isn't like him, but he was just getting toasted, wasn't he, on the PR?
Yeah, but it was good. It was a good win, beating well, winning any game is a good win, but beating the Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving in front of 36 million people was lovely to see. More so to see the Cowboys lose on Thanksgiving than the Raiders win. But yeah, I'm pleased with the win. Puts us on 6-5. Got some really, really tough schedule. We've got, there we go, equal penalties in both 100 yards and penalties. So it's as fair as it can be. The same amount of penalties and yard penalties. So they can suck a dick. Fuck you, Dallas. So yeah, I'm happy with the win. I think I mentioned it in the group chat that I'd have rather took the loss and we get a better pick. But I'm back on my crying for Derek Carr is finished now. I'm back on for him being MVP. He's way better than Deebo Samuel.
And Matt Stafford.
Well, I think Stafford's become Carr, hasn't he? So fumbles a lot. But happy with the win. We've got a horrible schedule coming up. We've got Washington this week, and then we've got the Chiefs, the Chargers again, and some really tough games, which I'm not going to look forward to. But if we can win, if we can finish on a winning season, I'll probably take that with what's happened this year, with the Gruden, the Ruggs, and the Arnett situation. I'll probably be quite happy with that, a winning season. Not sure when it goes to the playoffs and see us get dicked by fucking the Ravens or something. But yeah, there we go. Back to being happy for a week.
Realistic, man.
happy and fucking deluded. Sickening levels of optimism on here this week. Thanks from a Preston fan. That is perfect.
I'm surprised he knows what optimism is.
He's heard of it. He's never experienced it though. Talking of, mentioned Jack there. We mentioned last night that in the group chat that a few of us might be going out into Preston in January. Did we say? I think all our three teams and Jack's team, the Panthers, are all playing at 6 o'clock. So there's a decent little gaff in Preston called Wings and Beer. Not sure what they serve. Hopefully the clues in the title. But they have. I've heard
it's good.
They do
Hopefully
pizza.
we can get to see Cam complete more than 5 out of 20 passes on that week.
Honestly. It's just it was nice to see because I don't rate Cam Newton at all.
Same, he's a cunt.
I think he's our first C-bomb in a year and a bit.
I mean, like you imagine like Tom's hatred for Rodgers, then put that into a divisional hate Newton. When he came back and he was so excited, and he threw those passes and got all of that straight away. I'm like,
which Newton do you hate? Do you hate Cam or Jack? Just checking.
Oh shit! Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, I think a few was going to come over Preston Way and take in a game. Gaz can't do it because he's ironing or something.
It's just a book of excuses, isn't it?
Honestly. But yeah, so it moves us on to the Buccaneers, Jamie. Talk us through. I mean, you were pretty quiet when you were losing, and then all of a sudden you're going front. You and Gary chipping in the chat.
To be fair, I don't usually check the chat when we actually play because I'm focusing on the game.
Oh, hang on, can we just check who's got Gaz's phone?
The kids will be Ogv.
Jen, get off.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
The kids will be off school at that point. No ironing needed.
Stop chasing kids, Gaz.
Them doing it.
Ogv, CBA, fight me. Anyway, we're talking about the Bucs now, guys.
IMC ruin.
Steelers. So yeah, we didn't play the Steelers. We played the Indianapolis Colts, who again I've always said last season and this season. Why do you iron your kids? All right, then. Yeah, I've always said the Colts.
What the fuck is going on?
You'll get to say it in a minute, Jamie.
I've always said the Colts are my dark horse team. Like last season and this season, I thought they're a pretty good team. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor's turned it on this year, and is obviously leading the league at the moment with rushing. And I know everyone was saying kind of MVP calls. I mean, a legitimate MVP call, may I add, not ridiculous calls. But yeah, and he's a very good player. And obviously, you come against this Bucs defense, who is obviously one of the best at running and stopping the run. He did get a touchdown, but you can't stop elite running backs from getting that. But yeah, going into it, I was a little bit quiet, obviously, earlier on because we were watching the game. But as I always say to Tom, what do I say about the Bucs? Every time
Shit,
we're gonna come out in that, we're gonna come out of that third quarter, we're gonna get some turnovers, 2 turnovers straight away, and then we went on and obviously kind of coasted towards the end. I mean, a little bit nervy towards the end, if you did see that, when obviously we're trying to run down the clock, go for the kick, and then he basically 4 touchdown. Then he went, "Nah, I'm just gonna run in and just get this anyway. Don't care." Got it.
He took everyone with him as well.
It was a great performance, and I'm no spoiler alert, he is my performer of the week. I mean, it's no doubt. But yeah, he got that, and then obviously we had that kickoff. We just like, oh, all we got to do is waste the clock. We've got to trust this defense. And then the kickoff return, he ran for about 60 yards down the field. I'm like, fuck's sake.
He almost took it home. That was.
I know. I was like, yes, we've won. We've won. We're going to stop him. And all of a sudden, it was like, no! But luckily, they got the stop, and obviously, the Bucs won. But it wasn't anything special by Brady. I mean, he got 1 touchdown, 1 interception, about 220, 230 yards. But
half of them were to Gronk as well, weren't they? Didn't he have about 120 yards, Gronk?
Yeah, but like over half was to Gronk, and it was a great play by Gronk. He deserved a touchdown, but all of the touchdowns, 4 by Lenny, 1 by Rojo. Yeah, I'm not gonna complain about a Rojo touchdown. I love that man.
Are we just talking about Brady? Have we who's passing yards leader now?
I'm not sure. Have you just double checked to make sure it was Carr before?
Colt McCoy, isn't it?
It is Derek Carr, yeah. I thought it was.
I'll double check before I say something.
I knew it was close, but I'm sure I read that at some point today. Yeah, there's 11 yards in it.
When we last checked, it was about 8 yards the other way, weren't it?
Yeah, there's 11 now in it, which is, to be honest, it's quite tight all along. I mean, I'm just having a look there. I don't see Daniel Jones anywhere on the list. Just checking.
If you keep scrolling to about probably about another 27 players, you might
actually. Do you know what, mate?
To be fair,
ahead. No, wait. Daniel Jones is ahead of Baker Mayfield.
Yes, that's like saying it's like saying I'm slightly thinner than Alison Hammond.
Slightly whiter.
It's like I'm the tallest dwarf. Brilliant.
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Oh dear me. Okay, though.
Yeah, anyway,
what are we doing?
I'm happy. It was a tough game. Going into that game, I was kind of nervous watching it. Obviously, the Colts are a dark horse. I still think they're going to make the playoffs. I still think they're probably going to do well in the playoffs. I mean, any team that's going to come up against Jonathan Taylor in the playoffs, they've got to be scared. Unless he gets injured between now and the playoffs, I could see the Colts possibly making the divisional games, the divisional championship. Anything can happen this season.
Yeah, you are right. It's wide open, isn't it, all around?
I mean, there's cases for many teams to get there. Colts have played well. Bengals are playing well at the minute. I mean, you say Bengals are a fraud, but Joe Mixon's played incredible. I mean, Joe Burrows just seems to be a little bit solid. You got Jamar Chase, who can have a 200-yard day if he wants. I mean, it's just one of those days. On any given day, and if Brady could throw 5 touchdowns, he could throw 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
He could throw 3 picks like he did against the Saints. Like, anything's going to happen this season. The only thing that we know for sure is the Lions are going to lose.
Well,
they got a draw.
Oh, sorry, yeah. Are not going to win.
I really wanted them to beat the Bears. I was desperate for that, just purely because of the Bears pick. But it's just, it's not going to happen, is it? It isn't. It just, don't know. It must be tough. Like, you can tell, like, even with Bones, it's to the point where Bones isn't arsed because it's just like, it's obviously ingrained, or it's like, oh, it's just going to happen, isn't it? It's like, but they've had some close games this year, which makes it, for me, it'd make it worse.
Speaking of close
something like 5 one-score games or something like that.
I was just about to say, I mean, you look at another team whose every single game bar one has been a 1-score game going into the 4th quarter, the Vikings. The Vikings are so good this year, but they've just had these little games where it's just changed in the 4th quarter and just lost or just won in that 4th quarter, and have gone to overtime a few times. But the Vikings, Justin Jefferson,
Yeah.
Dalvin
Thielen.
Cook on at any moment. Feeling like obviously
Interesting,
Dalvin Cook, I don't know
interesting
if
to
he's
see what the
injured,
Dalvin
but,
Cook injury is. Yeah.
like the
Just to
Vikings.
point out there, you've got Chris's comment. This is what I love about the NFL, right? So this is like you've got Chris, relatively new to the sport, past few years or what have you, Lions fan. Then you've got Bones, probably seasoned Lions fan. Chris is, we can still beat the Falcons. Bones is like, yeah, we're not going to win this season. That is just the fan base for every team, isn't it? That is doing shit. It's the same with the Giants. Like, when I go on Giants Twitter, it's hilarious. Like, I'll go into a game thinking, oh, do you know what, we could win this. And then I'll look at all the season people that have supported them, that have been going for season ticket holders for, double-digit years. They're still over Twitter like, why am I even going to this game? Why am I even... It's just fucking...
Teams like that, but I mean, I know it was kind of two awful teams playing, but who did you expect to win between the Texans and the Jets? The Jets won. They're now on 3 wins.
Yeah. I mean, you could make a case for the Jets winning, to be fair, because the Texans are in full rebuild mode, aren't they? Well, they're in, really, I thought the Texans would be in tank mode, but they don't. They seem to be at least trying.
I mean, Zach didn't even throw a touchdown.
That's really good of him. He didn't throw he went 145 yards, 1 interception, and he still won.
Yeah.
Oh, well, to be fair, he did run in. He did rush in.
Wasn't it like a 2 yard or 1 yard or something?
Yeah. He said,
yeah, he just reached out. Who's what we've got next week then?
I mean, you've still got to talk about the Eagles, Tom.
He did.
I spoke about it.
Where were you at the start of the podcast?
I don't know. I
I'm
was
saying how
just
simple the game was. We won.
Yeah.
You did, yeah, we won. Fair enough.
Next, move on.
Yeah.
I just want a game where we absolutely leather someone, and I can get this out. And we drop like 40 points on someone.
Never gonna happen.
I hope it's a cardboard cutout of Dan Jones.
Is it not your party?
I can set another one of these off.
I mean, you should
Take it to wings.
The Eagles.
Take it to wings and beer.
If you do the double on the Eagles, will you pop it then?
If we put up 13 points against them, no.
No,
How can I celebrate putting up 13 points after we finally bring Jason Garrett back? Get him back now. Get him in at head coach. Judge is a fucking dickhead. Get rid. The only thing I can say positive about Joe Judge now is since he's taken over, we're unbeaten in divisional games at home. 4. Fuck off. Franchise is a joke. Do you know this is how bad
New
it
York,
is?
New York
This is how
City.
much the owners are pricks. We retired Strahan's jersey yesterday, so we've done 2 this season. We did. We retired Manning's and lost the Falcons. Yay! And then we chose for some reason. We were like, I know, team that have got a really good record against the Eagles. We'll retire Strahan's jersey. The owners came out for Manning's on the stage, and there was seats and everything like that. They didn't come out for Strahan's, although the seats were there, but the seats were empty. They chose not to come out because of the reception they got against Manning. And it's like, they're just fucking jokers, mate. Like, they just make every wrong decision. And yes, finally, it sounds like we're getting rid of Gettleman. And like I said in the group, next, I'm going to be clamouring for him. I guarantee I'll be like absolutely begging for him to get back because we'll get it wrong. We will 100% get it wrong. Louis fucking Riddick. Says it all.
It's weird how it all happens though, because I know you're saying like players like Carson Wentz, some say he's a joke of a quarterback, especially at the Eagles, but then he's gone to the Colts and he's been solid.
The Colts were good before Carson.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's been solid either. I'd say he's been average.
Colts were a good team last year.
Yeah. But
they've actually looked worse this year. Their record's worse this year, isn't it?
Probably. I'll have a look.
I know. I think we were talking about early in the season, and I think about 3 or 4 games in, and they were saying the overtime guys, who obviously know a lot more than us, and that's not sarcasm. Like, I actually look to validate opinions through them, and they were saying a lot of that was due to their defensive injuries, and they weren't playing defensively as well. But no, it's Wentz.
Fucking Shermanator. There we go.
Yeah,
Crazy,
Texas
right?
Jags
Crazy.
twice,
Yeah, so there's 4 wins. There's a quarter of your season done. Just chalk them off as wins done. There we go.
Yeah.
Who's the other
Speaking of-
team? Is it Tennessee in that league? That's a tough game. Titans, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is that? Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Who's obviously doing well
Yeah.
without Derek Henry.
Without Derrick Henry, yeah.
It's mad that there's such a run-heavy team and they're doing all right without him.
They've got someone else to fill it. I mean, let's have a look at the Titans. I mean,
They haven't really though, because they brought Peterson in and fucked him off, didn't
they?
Well, they had that the other guy. I mean, obviously they did lose to. They lost to the Patriots yesterday. But yeah, I mean, their running back Hillard had 131 yards. Ryan Tannehill threw for 93.
He's not had a good season, I don't think.
This Hilliard guy, I mean, against the Texans the week before, did he? No, Peterson went straight away, didn't he? Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, God knows.
Who's next week's fixture, Jamie? Who have you got next week?
We divisional against Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, so it's a nice win then.
Hopefully. I mean, you never know with divisional, do you? I mean, like you said, Broncos beat the Chargers. You just said Broncos beat the Chargers. I mean,
you do, but it's the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, you would like to think so, but they are what? They are 5-6. The 5-6.
And the Beatles.
Yeah. I mean,
they fucking murdered us last year and they were terrible. 40 points in the game.
Toilet water, mate.
They're what? They're 5-6 technically at the moment. They're second in our division, with Saints third. So it's like you never know. I mean, they get that. That's 0.5. That's a. I mean, at the minute,
they're not beating
Falcons are in the hunt. They are in the hunt for a playoff place in the NFC.
So
I mean, Kyle Pitts is obviously. Yeah, I know it's great, isn't it?
I'd imagine the Giants probably classes in the hunt.
Mathematically, we are.
They ain't.
9-8. We're going 9-8.
What's the Giants' record at the minute?
3-7, isn't it? Is it 4?
Yeah.
It's 4-7.
We're a game back from the Eagles.
Basically. Falcons are 5-6.
So there's one game difference. Yeah, the Falcons in the hunt, but the Giants aren't.
Yeah, mathematically, the Giants are, but we all know that we're not. The same as we all know the Falcons aren't. You can be in the hunt all you want. You're not getting it.
Yeah.
Performance of the week.
Lenny.
Jamie's sort of
I had Lenny down, if I'm honest.
I would have gone Leonard Fournette. However, I'm not going to, because he is the reason that I beat you in the fantasy game, Jamie.
Yes, he is. I mean, outstanding performance.
I checked, though. If you'd have added up all the points on your bench as well as what you got, you'd have only just beat me.
Really? As well as the bench. I like how you're like, never playing fantasy football, don't care.
I beat you. I counted it. Because I didn't even pick my squad.
If you're talking about fantasy, I did the double over Tom.
Yeah,
I beat him in the sleeper league.
Again, it's just like saying you're the tallest dwarf.
What? That's the main league, that one.
You beat me. It's not about you playing in a joke league. You beat me.
Yeah,
I'm sure
you're in the toilet bowl at the minute, aren't you?
Both losing seasons, both them teams.
Yeah, you're going to the toilet bowl. It's going to be great.
I think I've got 3 teams across, 2 across sleeper and 1 in the NFL, and neither of them are winning seasons. And I pick my team every week.
Matt's going to the Super Bowl. He didn't even pick the team. He don't even care.
I look at it once a week, and I'll take out those that are injured and put in those that aren't. That's all I do.
Yeah.
It's a solid team.
Well, I didn't pick it up. It's probably better that I didn't. I got lucky. Well, I got lucky on getting Prescott and Joe Burrow. So that's done all right there. And
look, see if there's anyone else stood out, but
I would have gone Carr for throwing 370 odd. yards, which is I think the most in the league this week. But
Mixon had a good game, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns.
who was the Dolphins player yesterday? Who
Miles Gaskin got 2.
You've got to give it to Nkuku again. He's got another 99-yard return touchdown.
Yeah. Jalen Waddle had a good game for the Dolphins. Is that who you're on about, Matt? He had over 100.
Yeah, it must have been, because I think it put him.
In the end.
I think it put him.
Yeah, the rookie was it the rookie record, just behind OBJ.
Something like that. I saw it quite late last night.
Yeah, 137 yards, 1 TD.
Yeah.
This is the most active James has been for ages on this chat, and he's getting giddy because the Dolphins are on a roll. I hope we beat you next week. Oh,
I will love it if we beat them. I really
hope we do.
Good question there for us. College football. Follow it? Not really. For me.
Maybe does, doesn't he?
This has been the season that I've got into it the most. I've watched most of the Florida Gators games, but obviously they've been a bit awful this season. Dan Mullen's been sacked. We've just got in the new head coach, Billy Napier. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, 6-6. We are bowl eligible. Don't think we're going, but there you go. Yeah, but
I've not managed to get into it.
It's been the whole thing with Amari Jones and Anthony Richardson. Richardson's been pretty class every time he's come in. Amari Jones is younger and he's a bit more exciting, but he's just thrown too many ridiculous picks. Mark will probably go on a little bit more towards draft time about Alam in defense because he's phenomenal.
But,
yeah.
Dress up as a dolphin if you lose.
Dress up as like the Katy Perry dancing dolphin. But no, like I try and watch it. Like I watch the big games. Obviously, I'm gonna try and watch. I know you guys watched it last year, didn't you? The big college, like
we watched it. It was pre-COVID, wasn't it? It was LSU Clemson, wasn't it? Joe Burrow against Trevor Lawrence. Got a nice cheeky little Armenian for it.
Say again.
We got a nice cheeky little Armenian for it. Didn't we?
Yeah, it's a treat.
Still need to have that.
You've got
who
played. You had T. Higgins played. Is now drafted. Jefferson on LSU at the time. Wasn't he?
He would have been, Justin Jefferson. Yeah.
There's
so many Jeffersons. There's Van Jefferson, Justin Jefferson.
The best bit was the player who got ejected though from Clemson. Just leathered somebody.
Mad. It was dead funny because I was thinking about this last night. Right? I wish they had player cam.
Yeah.
On the coverage, because I'd like to watch sometimes yesterday, for example, I was really intrigued about Smith versus Bradbury because Eagles have been going mad about Devontae Smith, saying how well he's done this season and statistically he looks great. And obviously we've got sometimes last season he was elite. This season he's been hit and miss, but Bradbury's had some elite games. He's a really strong corner. I was looking forward to that battle. Bradbury won. There's only two receptions for 22 yards, but I'd love to watch like a player cam on something like that. I 100% would have put it on that Skalski or whatever it's called. Because he was just targeting people left, right, and centre with his little neck brace on. A little going for it. He was
ejected for lowering his helmet, didn't he?
Yeah.
He was literally just levering someone.
It was mint. I'm sure Mark said he's in the draft this coming year. He said he might get picked sort of round 6 or 7
Yeah. Take it easy. He's got Raiders all over him, hasn't he?
Yeah, of course
Clemson and a fucking lunatic.
Yeah.
I mean, Jordan's just mentioned there this Saturday it's the SEC championship game between Georgia and Alabama. Georgia 12-0, Alabama 11-1.
Mark's team is Auburn, isn't it? Not Alabama.
Auburn, yeah.
What else has George said there?
Gators are wank. I mean, to be fair, he's not wrong this year. I mean, when you lose to teams like South Carolina and bloody Florida, because about 5 Floridas. They were like ranked 11th this season going into the season, but obviously you look at last year who they had: Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask broke records. Kyle Trask like 50 odd touchdowns. Like I said, Kadarius Toney, they had Kyle Pitts, obviously drafted 4th in the NFL for a tight end.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. Like the big players are gone, and then
And one day he can hope to be as good as Darren Waller.
Who?
That's a shit season, Waller, hasn't he?
Hey?
That a bit of a shit season, hasn't he, compared?
Well, he's double covered every time.
Yeah.
But that's why I think Ruggs was working before he decided to make some life-changing decisions for other people. But
For other people?
sorry, life-ending.
Yeah.
Great choice of words, love it.
I'd love to see, because the two or three Raiders games I've watched, they've always talked about how spread the receptions are. I'd love to see what that's like compared to last season, where it's probably Waller heavy versus this season.
It was. Waller went over 1,000 yards, didn't
he?
It was Waller, ting tang bing bang, whatever the song is.
Waller bing bang.
Yeah, it was. He's just getting double cover now, which is fine because Renfro had 130 odd yards this week as a slot, and Deshaun Jackson went over 100 as well, I think. So
Renfro's underrated, man.
I'm biased, obviously, but I think he's top 5 slot in the league, in my opinion.
Yeah, he
guy's got hands
like credit he deserves.
And he looks like a nonce.
Yeah, he's a weird looking guy, and he looks a bit like Phil.
I've never met a paedophile.
I've met a sex offender before. But yeah, he's just solid. Like every game I watch,
his footwork
is just mental.
Oh, he's broke a few ankles this season. Yeah. And he just doesn't drop things. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Might buy his jersey.
Yeah, no, he's going to drop it last minute, isn't he? He's going to drop a last minute to win the game.
No, his name's not Evan Engram.
Yeah.
Got him.
However, I'll say this because I dig the guy out left, right, and centre, especially after last season. But he's actually been quite dependable this season, Engram. Like he's done nothing special, but he's done. I was saying this to Phil. Well, I actually didn't say it to Phil yesterday. He had a ball go through his hands yesterday and almost got intercepted. And but thankfully it was caught, but the guy went out of bounds. Thankfully, otherwise I'd have fucking lost my head. But up to this season, I didn't want to say it to Phil yesterday. Like I say, he's been dependable. Like I think he's only had one touchdown, but that's probably the same for most Giants. But he's done what he's needed to do, and he's not had the drops. I think he's only had 2 drops, which for Engram is massive. Long may it continue, considering we decided to spend money on Rudolph and not use him. He's just going to go somewhere after this season and just ball out. I know it's going to happen. He's going to be unreal wherever he goes.
Yeah, just looking at what you said there. Sorry, that Raiders spreading the ball. Renfro, 8 receptions, 134 yards, average of 16.8. It's ridiculous, that. Deshaun Jackson, 3 receptions, 102 yards. And then it's Waller got 2 receptions, that 33 yards. That tells you. Last year, that would have been 100 yards and probably 7 or 8 receptions. But him being double covered, it is releasing other people. And that's, as I said earlier, I think that's why it was working so well with Ruggs being the deep threat, which is now D-Jax's job. Who knows? Probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Just going back to Engram, I hope he goes to fucking George's division and terrorises Seahawks for years to come. Or, no, do you know what? Actually,
go to the
Seahawks and they get rid of fucking Gerald Everett and he's a fucking travesty. That's what I hope.
John's messages. Fuck off about Engram. Shut up, Tom.
I can't believe what almost came out of my mouth. But I'm going to say it on behalf of the other Giants fans that I follow. They're desperate to trade for Wilson next year. And I would fucking hate that because I hate him. But if I put their cap on for a second, I'd fucking love that. Just to piss you, New Yorkshire bastard.
I seen Joe put something on Twitter before about a picture of Yorkshire and wouldn't want to live anywhere else. You sure, mate?
Lies.
They don't let you finger your sisters in the other county, pal.
Didn't he put #ad, #sponsored as well?
Did he?
Yeah, he paid to say that.
Sponsored by Yorkshire Tea.
Well, there we go. It's another great week of football.
Is there anyone else I can offend?
Fuck the Seahawks.
I mean, we've hit that hour mark now. I mean, we've made it through another week. We'll be here next time. No one knows.
No, it's not coming on.
But yeah, I mean, what are you expecting for the weekend? Like you said, we have the Falcons. Hopefully, you're going to win. Tom, I know you're not going to say much about the Dolphins because you're going to regret it next week. And Matt, you had Washington. You're going to win?
No.
Good old Heineken doing it for the boys. But yeah, as always, follow us. Third Short Pod, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. On YouTube, Third Short Podcast UK. And anywhere, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Deezer, anywhere you find your podcast, you can always listen to us as well. So, I'll quickly say what Jordan said. Can we all agree that we want the Falcons to beat the Bucs? Go for it. Why not? And yes, the Dolphins, the Lions are going to lose again. Whoever they're against, I'm not even gonna look. I mean, I'm gonna look because I mean I'm sure it's gonna be an annihilation. Whoever it's gonna be. Detroit Lions are playing the Vikings. They're gonna get smashed. Justin Jefferson over 200 yards. He's gonna love it. So that's my prediction. Tom, because yours is the most to kind of fear for next week, sign us off with something beautiful.
Steelers.